Hello, I am higher vibrations, and so are you. I kind of want to talk about some of the ascension symptoms I'm going through right now. Ascension symptoms is a term that people are using to explain, or a name that is being given to the experience of like our body going through some strange transformation as the energy shifts of this planet. There's a lot of density that we are trying to move through to get to a higher frequency. And as such, for people that are older, like myself, there's a process that needs to happen. Dying off, if you will, of some of the old ways, not only in your mind, your a way of understanding, of a way of experiencing this world, but also what your body goes through and what's okay with your body. Over the past several months, really, I've been going through some pretty amazing and scary and uncomfortable experiences that have been hard. They've been really hard. And the past few days, the headaches have gotten to be really pronounced. And it's been very difficult to do basic tasks in some cases. For the past 2 weeks, I've been dizzy, and like almost vertigo, where I feel like I just stood up, or perhaps I'd forgotten to eat for too many days or something like that. It's just weird and swirly and uncomfortable. The ears ringing was another thing that a lot of us have been going through, and I've definitely experienced that a lot over the past several months, year, really. It's March now, and it was in March that the ear ringing started, and it just didn't freaking stop. Now there are moments of reprieve. And actually, the ear ringing has gotten to be normal. I don't even notice it really anymore. And it's not nearly as high of a pitch, but one of the main things that I've been finding in this journey of these ascension symptoms that have been kind of peculiar and difficult to really understand how to kind of like go through this process. Like, how do I follow what I'm supposed to do in this? And that's been strangely, I guess, but it actually does make sense. It has to do with food and the different other like liquids and things that I put in my body. Like, for the longest time, there were these, I just accepted and adopted these rules: 3 meals a day, and eat what's on your plate, and da-da-da-da-da, and this is how it's done. You eat in the morning when you wake up, and then you eat in the afternoon, around noon, and then you eat in the evening, and then, snacks in between or whatever. Everything was about convenience. I was a fast food junkie. I, canned soda, I used to drink cases of it. And, strangely enough, like, I didn't ever expect that I wouldn't be drinking coffee. Coffee's coffee. When I first started to, like, be concerned about supplies before the whole thing started happening with the world, and people started just to, like, the toilet paper apocalypse began, I was a stalker in some ways, and coffee was always the thing that I made sure I had a lot of. And now I don't drink it. I have a lot of it. I recently moved into a new apartment, and as I was unpacking, I just kept finding coffee everywhere. I don't drink this anymore. I can't. I drink it, and I immediately feel like I just swallowed a sponge. And I just don't want it anymore. And instead of following what I've normally done, when my body has like shown a repulsion of something, I would just kind of force myself through it, and then my body will get used to it again. Instead, I've started to listen to my body. So I don't drink coffee anymore. It's weird. And I don't eat a lot of the foods that I used to like they used to be the main staple of my diet. I eat a lot of raw fruit and vegetables. Like, I'm one of those people. I'm granola. What, you know, but I ate pizza a couple of nights ago, and I'm still struggling. My body's still mad at me. And but I still eat it because I like it. I just don't do it very often because it puts me through the ringer. Why is all this happening? You know, I don't really know what people tell me, and that the things that I'm hearing, it resonates with me. It makes sense. I believe it's true. It's just that we're going through this process of growing into a new frequency. And in a higher frequency, our bodies don't want to, or can't maybe process these toxins, I suppose, that we normally put into our body. You know, have you ever wondered what the word preservative really means? I found something that I think it was like Man's Island. These people didn't care for McDonald's at all. Like, they weren't, you know, and like I think it was like in 1994. Or around that time, right before that year, perhaps, maybe 93, they had chosen to go ahead and let McDonald's chain come onto their island. And no one liked them, so they didn't last very long. And then in 94, a year later, since there was so little interest, they just closed down the McDonald's. And the last McDonald's meal that was made at that chain or that particular restaurant, they put underneath a glass cloche and into like a museum or something like that. Just, I don't know, it's kind of funny and cute. But all these years later, it still looks just like it's brand new. The paper covering the hamburger is like deteriorating and becoming translucent so you can see the burger within. But the burger looks fine. The fries look fresh. They They look great. And I was putting that stuff into my body regularly. I was a fry whore. And now my body won't let me do it anymore. And I have some choices I can make. I can force myself to do it. Force myself to eat those things that my body doesn't want and suffer the consequence. You know, have difficulty in all different ways of my body trying to expel it as quickly as possible, just feeling gross and bloated and just tired. Or I can choose to eat the things that my body wants. Like, whoever thought that someone like me would want to eat Brussels sprouts? Like, that's my favorite food now. And I don't even, what's wrong? It's what's going on for me. It's weird. You know, and it's okay. It's kind of a fun little journey. And so all of this extra food storage that I have no longer has use. What's more is I found that the foods that were being stored in cans, like metal tin cans, anytime I used the ingredients in those, my body would act like it was poisoned. Like, I went through some pretty severe... I went through a period of being poisoned by an ex. And it was... I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know I was being poisoned. I didn't find out till after I left. A week later, I was cured. I spent years chronically sick. You know, in and out of the hospital. I died a few times. Like, I was experiencing the same symptoms that I was back when I was being poisoned by my ex when I used canned tomatoes and were new. It wasn't like they were old. And when I was eating like peaches from a can, and I noticed that as soon as I stopped eating those canned foods, my body got better. I wasn't sick anymore. I had energy again. I was back to being me again. This is just my experience. This is not a suggestion or a guideline for anyone. It's just my journey. And my journey has been something I'm just trying to figure out as I go. Just like all of you. So I don't drink anything from a can, from aluminum cans. I don't eat food from tin cans. And I only eat pizza when I know that I don't have to go anywhere for a couple of days. And I just try to follow my body. One unexpected occurrence has been, I've been going through periods of fasting for months now. And it's not like I sit and I go, okay, now I'm going to be like a monk and I'm going to be like, let's shave my head and dye my sheets orange and hand out pamphlets at the airport. I just randomly go, I'm not hungry. And allow myself that space to not have to eat just because it's supposed to be. I've never liked breakfast. And I often throughout my life forced myself to eat it because you're supposed to. That's the healthiest meal of the day. You're supposed to start your day right. And so I would dump like boxed cold cereal out of full of preservatives into a bowl. And anyway, I don't do that anymore. And recently I just got done of doing a month of just drinking tea. And it wasn't because I was trying to. I didn't not want to eat. Like, I'm not going to eat now. It's just that my body wasn't inclined to. I had an apple somewhere in that period, and then a couple of things here and there, but for the most part, that whole month was teas and lots and lots and lots of water. Do not forget the water. And, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been doing this weird swallowing thing because I just want to be sitting here drinking water while I'm talking to you. And that's just what my body's being called to do right now. I'm drinking 3 and 4 gallons of water a day right now. And it's not because I'm like, that's my goal. It's just, that's what my body wants me to do. And instead of questioning it, try to pick it apart and decide what the heck is going on with me, I'm being gentle with myself and just saying, okay. One of the most important lessons that I've recently learned is to be gentle with myself. That's hard. That's really hard to be gentle with yourself, at least for me. The easiest way that I've learned to do that is to kind of pretend that I'm my own child and take care of myself like I would my child or a child. My body is a child, and I've mistreated it for many, many years, and there's no trust there. And so I am rebuilding a relationship with my body and making it feel safe. If it doesn't want to eat today, it doesn't have to. If all it wants is 15 gallons of water, okay, 15 gallons of water it is. And allow the journey to just unfold the way it's supposed to. There are no rules. All of the rules are just barriers keeping us down, stopping us from our evolution. So I think I'm ready to listen to my body a little bit more. It's time. It's time to make amends to myself, to my body, and let my body do what it needs to do. Because it knows. Thanks for listening to this silly vlog of mine. I hope you're having a great day. Be gentle with yourself. Your body knows what it needs. The more you listen to it, the more you will start to hear its message. It won't likely be some booming voice from the clouds, but you will feel it. You will know what it is that you need to do next. And trust that it's correct. Have a lovely day. I hope blessings.